I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money. I have recently, okay? So thank you so much in advance to anyone who supports this content. You guys are awesome, and thank you so very much, okay? Fair enough? Okay. Alrighty then. So, let's go. This segment, we're now going to do the rundown of some of the stuff that I've gotten to improve everything. So let's talk about it, shall we? So, I have told you guys that recently I upgraded all of my equipment. So, for example, as you can see, I upgraded my keyboard. This is now the Asus ROG or ROG Republic of Gamers Azoth keyboard. Okay? Yes, it has fancy RGBs. That's not why I got it. I got it because it was rated one of the best keyboards for gaming right now for the value for the dollar. There are more modern versions of this. Like, I think there's like a 2.0 version. And when I was reading the reviews, people were basically saying it's more expensive, but doesn't really add any features that are viable for competitive play. Like, it has some extra bells and whistles, but it doesn't really add much. And it is an increase in price, like a price jump. So I just got the Azoth 1 model, okay? And I love it. All the keys have a textured top, which I really like about a keyboard, that it's not a smooth top, but a textured top. They're the clicky style keys, so you get that tactile feeling when you're playing with this keyboard. It has some added features, like, for example, over here has like an LED screen. Hold on. It has this LED screen here, and you could program the screen to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you can actually have it do animations and things. Like, you could have a thumbnail there. You can actually have it play a video loop, which I think is silly. Why do you need that on your keyboard? I just have it do default, like the date and time. Not that I would ever use it. But yeah, and it also has this knob. You can use it to do all kinds of things with your PC, like adjust the volume of your PC, adjust RGB settings on your PC, all kinds of stuff, okay? So, basically, it has a lot of features that I don't use. What I bought it for is the response time and the actual control, and I would say it's a very good keyboard for what it is. Is it pricey? Yes. But at the same time, so far, I've loved it. And by the way, you might notice I actually have it plugged in. And you might say, well, I thought that... Oh, hold on. You might say, I thought that it's a wireless keyboard. Here you go. Why is it plugged in? Apparently, it actually has even better response time when plugged in. So I left it, I'm just leaving it plugged in, and it's fine plugged in. It works well. We don't have to worry about recharging the battery or whatever. So there you go. The Asus ROG Azoth, I recommend it. So far, I really like it. I feel like playing on this thing has improved my gameplay of Call of Duty. Okay? So moving on from that basic upgrade, which you guys already knew about. Over here, we have the mouse, and this is my Razer Viper V3 Pro wireless mouse. It is the lightest mouse I have ever used in my life. It is insanely lightweight, which is crazy because it has a very long life battery in it. So I was using it for about 2 weeks and never recharged it, and I just recharged it recently. Okay? I love this thing. This has the best response time of any mouse I've ever used. It absolutely controls very precisely, and I've been getting shots I've never gotten before in Call of Duty using this just for a couple sessions. So if you want, it's a good mouse because the thing is, it's not overpriced. Like, there are other mice like this that are they claim they're better models, okay? But they're more expensive. This one is supposed to be the best value for the dollar with the level of control that it has. I also do like that it's a longer mouse. It allows me to have better control of the mouse. I had a smaller one. I had this one, which is the Hero mouse from Logitech, and it's a little heavier, but it's a little too small, I feel, for competitive play. Like, I was using it, and I didn't really like it as much. I definitely like the Razer mouse better. It just feels like just better control. Okay, so those are the basic 2 peripherals that I have been using for gameplay recently. But actually, what I wanted to show you is that I have been doing some attempts at finding the right things to use with these peripherals. And one of the hardest things I think to figure out right now is what is the best way to go about having a wrist rest when you are going to be playing games online, because there's a lot of options. All right. Like, there's a ton of options. All right. So to give you an example of some of the things that I've tested and have used for the last year, I was actually using this thing. Okay. This is, simply put, memory foam that's shaped like clouds. Okay. It looks nice, right? It's aesthetically pleasing. And here, if I put it in my setup, right, it actually looks kind of nice. It pops on camera. You can even see, look here on this camera here. It shows up nice on camera, does it not? And so it's been aesthetically pleasing. However, to be very honest with everyone, it's not very good for actual support. Okay. I just don't really like it. It's all right. It's soft. And I would say when you're typing, like if you're typing on your keyboard, it's fine. But the moment that you go to play games, it's just not sufficient. It kind of feels a little sticky. Like when sweat starts to come out of your wrist and it gets on there, it just doesn't feel very comfortable. And it doesn't give you the level of support that you're really looking for when you're doing competitive gaming. So I've had this for like a year and I've been using it. To be honest, I don't really like it. Okay. Like it's just kind of, it was good looking, but I don't recommend, this is aesthetically good. Or if you're only using your keyboard for typing, maybe I would recommend it, but I would not recommend this as like a gaming wrist rest. Okay. So you can just take this and you can just throw it in the trash. All right. Don't do that. If you have it, don't throw it in the trash. But what I've been doing is I've been testing various other rests to try to figure out like what's good that could be used for competitive gaming. All right. And I've tested a bunch now, and I wanted to kind of run you through all the different types that exist because there's a ridiculous amount of ones that exist. Okay. So this is shaped memory foam, and you can get memory foam of so many different kinds. You can get ones that look like clouds, ones that look all fancy and stuff. All right. They're all pretty much the same unless you go for one of the name brand, like gaming level ones. This is not that. This is more just a generic, look, memory foam. You could squish it or whatever, but there's nothing special to it. You get one that's just black and it's generic. You get ones that are like gel, but they all are basically feeling exactly the same. All right. So I tried some different ones, and the one that I tried recently that I was looking online and everyone swore that this was like really good is this one. This is made of wood, and I think it's called Glorious, the Glorious Wooden Wrist Rest. Okay. So it's literally a solid piece of wood that's been molded into a particular shape. As you can see, it's not perfectly flat. It has an incline that your wrists sit on. Okay. And they painted it with this kind of like lacquer paint. So it's supposed to be like smooth on your skin. It looks nice. I'm not going to lie. On the bottom, it's got rubber feet. So basically it sticks to your desktop and it allows you to have support. And a lot of people swore by this and said, this is so good. It really is supportive. I tried everything else. It doesn't work. I swear by this Glorious Wrist Rest. It's so good. And, they swear by it so much, they make it in all different sizes. In fact, here's another one for mouse size. So, yeah, you can do it for your mouse. You do it for your keyboard. All right. So there you go. So I used it. What did I think? I don't like it. In fact, you can actually see why. Are you taking a look at the top of it right now? Do you notice something? Do you see something on the top of the wood right there? You see that it looks like almost like spots, right? So here's what I found is the problem with this keyboard, with this wrist rest. Okay. When you go to use it, at first it's actually very comfortable. And in fact, it gives you good support as you're typing or even if you're gaming, with it. So it's good initially. Within about an hour of using it, your wrist starts to sweat because that's just what happens. When skin is touching something, it starts to sweat. And when your wrist starts to sweat, all of a sudden, moisture accumulates on the wood. And immediately you notice your wrist is starting to stick to the wood, which is very uncomfortable. You don't want your wrist to start sticking to it, right? So in reality, initially it's good, but the moment that things start to get heated in a game, it's not comfortable at all. And as you can see, what ended up happening was it actually started making sticky spots on the wood, which you can visibly see on it. So yeah, of course you can clean it, but the whole idea is you're not actually supposed to have that happen. Like you're trying to have a comfortable gaming experience. What I could say is maybe if you're just typing, much like with these memory foam wrist rests, if you're just typing, perhaps it's good. Okay. But when you're actually gaming and you're actively trying to do stuff, quickly with your wrist, you're going to have, some friction against this. You're going to have some sweat, and it's really not built for that. So as many people as recommended this online, I guarantee you none of them game. They're probably just people typing and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't recommend this at all for people who game, but maybe it's comfortable if you're just typing or maybe an office setting. And it does look nice. Don't get me wrong. Like it's really nice looking, but I just don't see spending the money on it when it's going to be sweaty and sticky the moment that you get into something serious. Okay. So I bought the set and I'm probably never going to use them because I really don't like them after having tested them. Okay. So there you go. All right. So there are other kinds of wrist rests as well. Okay. There's two currently that I actually really like that I want to recommend to you. And then actually what I'm going to do is also I'm going to show you that I tested a bunch for the mouse as well, because I have some discoveries there to show you. So there's two wrist rests that I'm currently using. Okay. This rest is the one that I'm currently using over here I just accidentally closed my app. Hold on. I didn't mute the music, did I? No, I just accidentally minimized it. So this is the wrist rest that I'm currently using over here for typing and updating the leaderboard and doing things on my capture and streaming PC. This is an insanely simple wrist rest. I'm going to show you what it is. Ready? It's silicone, and it's a hexagon silicone wrist rest. It's rubberized, and the thing is, it's very soft on the top. Unlike the wooden wrist rest, where it's a hard lacquered surface and it basically builds up like sweat, this one does not. This one is actually very soft to the touch, and I feel like this kind of silicone material is basically meant to give you support, but also not make you sweat. Just whatever material is in the silicone, it feels good. It's smooth, and I've been using this now for a couple of days, and it hasn't really given me that level of discomfort that the wood did at all. And actually, it's pretty good for both typing and gaming. Okay, this particular brand I think is called, is it KC-Tron? I can't really read it. Keychron. That's what it is. Keychron. Keychron. Okay, I do recommend this. The best part about this, it's cheap. This is less than 20 bucks, and you can get it in all different sizes. This particular size is for like 10 keyless keyboards. See, it fits this one like perfectly, and it is at an incline for the record, just like the wood was. See, there's an incline, and you could place it however you want, like right up to the keyboard, or you can place it slightly back, either whatever feels more comfortable to you. And because it is silicone, it sticks nicely to whatever surface you have it on. You don't need to have like feet on the bottom like this has. This one just naturally sticks because it's made of silicone. Excuse me, not silicone, silicone. All right. So I do recommend that one. Okay. Now, if you want to go like a step up from that, the one that I'm using right now that I actually think is the best one that I have is this one right here. This one is called the HyperX. You can see it says right on it, HyperX Cooling Foam Wrist Rest. This one also has a rubberized bottom, so it sticks to, whatever surface that you want to have it on, okay? It's very lightweight, and it has a cooling gel on the inside, okay? And it's a very stretchy, smooth top. You see how stretchy that material is? So the thing that I like about this one is when you put your wrist on it, it feels like your wrist is going into a pillow. It really does. It feels like it's sinking in, and it's incredibly comfortable. It's also cooling gel, meaning, I'm not kidding, it feels cool to the touch as you use it. I used this all last night for Call of Duty. It was the best wrist rest I've ever used for anything in my life. It was incredibly comfortable. It was cooling to the touch. I never even built up a sweat on my wrist, which normally I did on the others. This one never built up any sweat because it's a fabric on top of cooling gel underneath. It was so good. This 100% I recommend. Now, I'm sure there's other brands as well. I just happen to buy the HyperX one, but this is probably, out of all these I tested, the best one I've ever used. So this is my top of the line pick right now. Now, I do have one more I'm going to test. It just was on back order, and it's not showing up until later this week. So when I get that one, I might give you my opinion on that one too. That's also like an official gaming peripheral brand that I want to try. But definitely, I love the HyperX wrist rest. Okay? There you go. Now, in regards to my wrist rest, this is a little bit different. And the reason I say that is because unlike the keyboard, okay, when you're using a mouse to game, you need something that's going to give you support, but also needs to be kind of maneuverable. Because think about it. As you're playing with this mouse, you're moving it all over your desk. You basically need to have something that's going to move with it. Because if not, then you have to reposition. And I've definitely seen that be an issue. So I have a whole bunch of different ones that I tried for the mouse. As I already explained, I did try the wood. And although the wood does give some really solid support, it just got sticky. As I started playing, I was like, oh, I don't like that. It's just sticking too much. So I ended up not liking the wood whatsoever. Okay? So first off, the most basic one you can even get for a mouse is literally this. It's a bag of beads. All right? You can get this anywhere. You can get this at an office store. You could buy it on Amazon. It's probably under 20 bucks. I think this one I got at like Office Depot for like 12 bucks or 15 bucks or something like that. Okay? To be honest with you, this is really good. This is actually really comfortable. Okay? Usually it has an ability to like stick. Some of them come with like a rubberized bottom. Some don't. This one particularly didn't. But you just put your hand right on it. That's not bad at all. It's very comfy. It's like having a pillow under your wrist and, pretty maneuverable. However, the problem with this wrist rest, I know because I've used these before, okay? The problem with this wrist rest is very simple. It's not durable at all, all right? This particular wrist rest will wear out quickly. What ends up happening is when you put your hand on this every day, just naturally sweat and skin start to sink into it, all right? Absorb into it, literally, because it's just cloth and beads. So within like a month or two, this will already start to discolor, and actually it'll start to wear out, and it won't be as effective or as good. And I've had these many times, and if you're going to use this, it's a good option, but you have to keep buying them. Like every 2-3 months, you end up having to like buy a new one. If you're okay with that, great. But, most people don't want to have to buy a wrist rest every few months. They just want to have something that's going to last for a long time. So I wouldn't recommend this. This is like a good short-term solution, but it's definitely not something for lengthy gameplay or something you're going to have in your setup forever. You're going to have to keep replacing it, okay? So I recommend it. I do like it, and it's a very viable solution. It just doesn't last, all right? Now, they're pretty, versatile options when it comes to mouse wrist rest. I've seen a bunch, okay? One kind would be just standard memory foam. Again, you've seen the cloud. I didn't pull it out of the closet, but I had one that looked just like this. That's a cloud. That's for the mouse instead of just the one for the keyboard. It's pretty much exactly the same situation. It'll give you some support, but sadly, it's not good enough for competitive gaming. Your wrist starts to get uncomfortable. And also, here's another thing, particularly with the mouse, okay? When you start to use it for extended periods of time, it flattens and it's not giving you the support anymore. So it'll work for like an hour, and after an hour, all of a sudden you'll notice, it's not supportive anymore. It's because you flattened it. And the memory foam doesn't have a chance to come back up because you keep using it, so it's not as good. So I don't recommend the basic memory foams ones. The memory foam ones are just not very good for gaming, again, in my opinion. Okay, they're good for typing, not for gaming. I wouldn't recommend one of the memory foams for the mouse, okay? So what about other options? Well, for example, what about something like this? This one is also known as cooling gel. This is Brila is the company that makes this one. I got it off Amazon. And it's a contoured design. As you can see, it almost looks like two butt cheeks, right? It's like the butt cheeks rest. It's rubberized on the bottom, so it sticks in place. Or not rubberized, has that like silicone like shine to it. So it sticks in place. It's comfortable, okay? It is. It is comfortable. And because it has this gel, this cooling gel, your wrist actually will not feel like warm or sticky, okay? However, after using it for a while, I didn't like the level of support it gave my wrist. I felt like it wasn't supporting my wrist enough. And actually, after using this for like a half an hour, my wrist actually started to get sore. So even though it seems comfy, it doesn't give the level of support as this HyperX. And in fact, just to give you a comparison, there's the HyperX. Do you see? The HyperX is like almost twice as thick as this mouse wrist rest. So that's why the HyperX just gives you way more support. It's just much better. So that is a better product, in my opinion. Well, this one is just kind of flat, and it doesn't really do that much, all right? So, honestly, I didn't really like that one, okay? I was looking then after that for ones that were more contoured, and I got a product here, and to be honest, I forgot what the name of it is, and I looked, and it doesn't even have a name on it, okay? But this one is an actual contoured memory foam wrist rest, and the way this one is built is that it's actually supposed to fit your actual wrist design. It's supposed to be ergonomic so that you can actually game with it, and it will not give you pain, and actually supports circulation in your wrist, okay? So this one, I actually found, did give me way more support when I was gaming, all right? However, again, it wasn't perfect, okay? It just wasn't. It was kind of like, I wanted the game, and as I was doing it, all of a sudden I wanted to move. This one kind of like sticks in place the way that it works because it actually has rubberized bottoms again. And because it kind of sticks in place, you can't really adjust it. Like you're playing, you're like, I need to readjust, and we get stuck. You're like, oh, crap. And it wasn't that good for fast moves. Like, let's say someone was running in the room with Call of Duty and you need to adjust your shot on the fly really fast. You go, oh, my wrist is stuck. And then you couldn't get your shot. So even though this one is more ergonomic and it's comfy for your wrist, I would recommend this as someone who's at a desk all day working in an office and absolutely needs to have good support and you don't want your wrist to get sore. But this is not good for gaming because it doesn't really move for shots, okay? So after all of this, all right, you may say, oh my God, so did you ever find a good one for the mouse? Like you just showed us like 4 different ones. I did. All right. And this, I swear to you, this is not a product placement. This is not me getting paid. This is not a plug at all. I saw this one and I was like, I can't believe this would work because it looked silly to me. All right. This is called the Delta Carpio 2.0. Delta Carpio, Carpio 2.0. All right. You might say, what the hell is that? What is it? It looks like a mouth guard or something. Dentures, right? You're right. It does look weird, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to show you what this is. On one side, the top, this is very soft and rubberized. This is meant to touch your skin, and it's designed to be very comfortable, especially in gaming situations where maybe you have a sweaty wrist. It's actually meant to handle that. But on the bottom, it is actually a very shiny plastic. I'm trying to get the camera to catch it, but it's not really catching it right now. Yeah, it's really not. Basically, on the bottom, it's almost like, how can I say, laminated? Oh, you can see it now. There, see, it's shiny. The bottom is shiny and laminated. So here's what happens. As long as you're using a mouse pad or a desk mat, which I'm using, and actually I'm going to talk about the desk mat in a minute too, because I recommend that. You put your hand down on top, just like this. Get your hand on your gaming mouse. And now for standard gameplay, you're like this, but if you need to move, it moves with your hand. It actually glides naturally all over your desk. And unlike some of the other mouse wrist rests, it feels natural and it's incredibly lightweight and it moves everywhere you need it to be. All right. It's insanely comfortable. At first, you might think, no, it's not. That looks silly, right? No, I'm not kidding. It's insanely comfortable. It's ridiculously comfortable. I used it last night for Call of Duty. I had zero pain in my wrist. My wrist never sweat. That's another thing because of its design, because it has this space between. Your wrist won't actually sweat using this thing. Okay. And I was able to get very fast, quick shots in Black Ops 7 last night using this thing. And it was like the best I've ever had. However, the catch is you need to be using a pad. It needs to have a fabric under it because this lacquered like bottom, this like laminated bottom needs to be on a smooth surface to glide around like that. And it glides perfectly on this surface. But if you were just using it on like a desk, like wood, it probably will stick. So you've got to get a mat to use it on. But if you do, this is super good. Okay? Super good. No exaggeration. I absolutely loved using it last night and was very pleased because it's not cheap. If I remember, this is like $40 or 30 something. Seriously, this piece of plastic is like 30 something dollars. But man, from that initial session of using it last night, I absolutely loved it. I felt like it was like ideal for the gaming situation. So it's, designed to fit a wrist. It's designed to scoot around and it works great. Okay. So that's something, again, that's the Delta Carpio 2.0, I think it's called. I absolutely love it. So after testing all of these different things, beads, yeah, they're good, but they wear out. Memory foam, it's just not good for support for gaming, in my opinion. Wood, well, it's supported, but the problem is you sweat when you use it and your wrist sticks to it. And now it's crappy and it's sticky. It's not very good. What about ergonomics? Well, ergonomics work, except they don't move because it's meant to stick to the surface. I recommend this guy. That's the best thing right now from gaming mice, in my opinion. And I'll let you know, obviously, as I use it more, my thoughts, if they change or whatever. But I think that's amazing. Like, seriously. And then, and one other recommendation, because you can see it now. Basically, I got full-sized desk mats for both of my sides of my L-shaped desk here. These desk mats are awesome, okay? The one that I'm using now, it's the Corsair XXL desk mat. And as you can see, it goes all the way to the edge of my desk. It covers all the way, I'll show you, all the way down, all the way across, all the way this way. See how long it is? We're still going. It actually goes underneath, and my camera won't even go far enough to show you how long it goes, but it goes further. This is actually my monitor mount here. It goes past that. It actually has my Yeti mic here. It has my Roland Bridge cast. This thing is huge, okay? I love it because it's cushioned, so you can use it as, say, a coaster. Like I have my drinks and stuff. Like, watch, here's my thermos. Perfect. I put mugs there. I put everything on it. It's great. Also, it's water resistant. Meaning, for example, if I were to spill something on here, it does not absorb. It beads on top. So if you're drinking and you have a spill, you have time to go grab the paper towels and dab it up before it soaks all over your setup. You're using a regular desk, you spill something, you got a huge mess on your hands. This allows you to clean quickly. Okay? So I strongly recommend it. It basically eliminates the need ever for a mouse pad. Also, it allows keyboards and things to stick securely. All right, I love that. And it's cushioned. It looks nice. Like this particular model is one that has a design on it, but you can get them usually in all kinds of different designs. As you can see, this one's supposed to look like metal, but it actually has the Corsair, logo here. As you can see, it's on my chair. Well, it's also on the pad there. Okay. So pretty cool. All right. Hopefully me going through all this stuff for the last half hour, if you're someone who's building an office and you're looking for a setup and you have questions, hopefully this will help answer those questions because this is stuff that I figured out, on my own. There's not a lot of information out there about this. There's people who review them against each other, but I've never really seen the in-depth analysis I just gave. Instead, it's just kind of like, it was comfy and cooling, 7 out of 10 or whatever. But I wanted to give you a breakdown of all the stuff that I've been testing to let you know exactly what I think about all of it. Okay? So there you go. Hopefully that'll help you, especially, again, if you're someone like me who maybe you don't upgrade often. And then when you're going to do it, you want to do it all in one fell swoop like I've been doing over the last month. So hopefully some of this information helps you to make some informed decisions on some of this stuff. Okay? To be honest, I don't get this at all. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Oh, it looks nice, and even the logo is like a bearded man. Like, oh, look, a man of the forest who made his wrist rest out of wood. Well, good for you. But did you actually use it? Because when you use it, it gets all sticky and not comfortable. Like, why would I want to use this? You can even see this. You can see it. Look, you can see the smudges from having your skin on it. And you know that what's going to happen is after you use it, you're going to wear the stain off the wood because you're rubbing it with skin every day. There's going to be oils and sweat and things on there. I just don't understand it. Everyone swore to it online. I get it. I'm like, oh. I just don't like it at all. But anyway, hopefully that helps you guys. All right, if it doesn't, it's fine. But I wanted to do a segment on it because I've been doing all this research. So now I've officially reviewed tech in the USA. There you go. Everyone, Dark Side Phil here. The only detractor channel that I watch is Duty Streams.